17 May 65. Dearest Suzie, you are going to keep on and spoil me. I have gotten a letter from you every day this week. So you weigh 130 pounds now. Does that dress I sent you still fit? I was going to get you a nice one made, but I want to make sure it will fit you. I thought I wrote and told you before that I bought a slide projector. It is one of those remote control jobs, and is real nice. It only costs $36. Oh yeah, while I'm thinking about it, don't try to send me any present for our anniversary. Anything that you sent would cost too much to mail, and anyway, what I want you couldn't even get in an envelope. We aren't working today. This is the third day we have been off, but when we do work, we go at it. Don't worry about me extending. They might make us stay. There has been some talk about that, but I doubt it. But I wouldn't volunteer to stay over here for all the tea in China. I guess you know by now that we don't have to pay income taxes over here. I guess I will be getting quite a bit back. I don't know when, though. I will close for now. Sending you and the boys all my love. I miss you all very much. Sincerely, Bill. The following is the next part of a piece I wrote titled Fish, Pharmaceuticals, and Phil. I won't give much context. I hope you can piece it together on your own. I'll continue to provide parts during this month, when there are days which have less to talk about. As with most everything else in this project, this is deeply personal and meaningful to me. I hope you enjoy. The situation feels entirely out of their control, as they get jostled between caseworkers and play the waiting game with court dates. Meanwhile, the children, at least the older two, seem to have regressed while being in the system's care. We have a situation where things feel broken, and those who are suffering feel unable to find help from the very people who have the only sort of ability to directly fix the institutions which need fixing. We have a system which exists directly at the order of the government, but operates independently of those who fund the agencies and make the rules. Tim believes that the bureaucratic system in Tallahassee, which has existed since the city's founding, is to blame for what is going on, and that because there are so many moving parts, not even his ideological counterparts in the legislature have what it takes to fix things, at least not fast enough to help the kids that need it right now. What's going to happen when they become adults? Do they even have any options? When I was told about Kid 1's first arrest, which was heartbreaking for Tim and Lisa to tell me about, Lisa finished the story by saying, and he was just telling us about how he wanted to be a lawyer when he grew up. I didn't say anything to her at the time, but looking back, the statement is almost comical. He was born addicted to drugs, raised by an abusive grandmother, and now mother, and has been tossed around by this system. He hasn't had structure, and school is hard enough as it is without any of this. I don't think he ever had a chance of being a lawyer. The optimism and inability to see the situation for what it was intrigued me. I felt compelled at one point to discuss with them how often people in the foster care system become homeless or have lifelong run-ins with the law, but it felt like I'd be pouring gasoline on a fire. The hopelessness felt by the family as a result of coming face to face with a massive institution against which they are powerless is what ultimately culminated in Mary asking for my help. This family is facing an intergenerational dilemma where their own children, siblings, and parents have suffered from untreated mental illness, drug addiction, alcoholism, poverty, and the misuse and abuse of the law by figures of authority. And now, those who have managed to stay on better paths and make healthier decisions than those closest to them still feel like they are being punished. Mary worked hard, raising her litter of kids, and is rewarded at the end of her life with the anxiety felt by someone unsure of what will happen to those most vulnerable in her large family. Meanwhile, dredging up ancient traumas she experienced in her childhood. Lisa and Tim, though initially trying to be accommodating and generous, have now been pulled into a whirlpool of time, energy, and emotion, constantly asked to right the wrongs they feel others committed, even when Lisa has other siblings who have not been involved at all. Face to face with all this, Mary thought to go to the one person in her whole life that she believed could actually make a difference, Dr. Phil. It hurts me to think of her solution to this situation, but it makes some sense. She knows his influence, and he is a doctor after all. She's seen him work miracles for years by sending bratty kids to the ranch, empowering those captured by drugs to attend rehab, and giving parents tips and tricks to help withstand the onslaught of the slings and arrows they experience when living with unruly kids. I didn't ask her how often Dr. Phil checks up with his former patients on his show, knowing how effective his work really is when the cameras aren't rolling. The parasocial relationship seemed to focus only on the positives. I instead asked what she expected would result from me writing Dr. Phil on her behalf. Well, to start, she said, you don't have to put your name on it. I'll say I wrote it. That way, you don't have to be involved. I don't want you to stake your reputation on something like this. I chuckled. I'm not worried so much about myself, but go on. She looked around for approval from Tim and Lisa, but they were lost in another conversation. I've seen a lot of people on there who aren't even half as bad as Jessica, and the stuff that's going on with her kids. I don't know why he wouldn't want to help. I nodded. I see what you're saying, but what can Dr. Phil do that the state of Florida can't? She looked incredulous. What do you mean? They haven't been able to do anything. At the very least, he could bring attention to all this. Sure, but would you even want him to bring attention to this? There are a lot of people involved here. If the kids are already being made fun of at school and having a rough time, how much worse could this make it? She shook her head in protest. He'd help them. He wouldn't make it worse, and maybe instead of arresting Jessica, he could get her real help. Another blow to my emotions. After everything, she just wanted to get her granddaughter what she thought was the proper help. There was still a chance for redemption. There was still a chance for good. Jessica was not lost. Things could be made right. Mary might have said this optimism stemmed from her Catholic upbringing coming out in practice. I would wager she was just a genuinely good person trying to keep her family together. I had to get Tim and Lisa's opinions. I locked eyes with Tim. What do you guys think about this? He looked at me quizzically. About what? Miss Mary here wants me to write Dr. Phil on behalf of your family to help with Jessica and her kids. His head dropped. Lisa took a deep breath. I thought we talked about this, she said to Mary. We don't need to go to Dr. Phil. He couldn't do anything anyway. The problems Jessica has can't be fixed. She's been given enough chances to prove that. I interrupted. Has she? When was the last time she was in rehab? Like, real rehab. Thank you for listening. If you liked that, please stay tuned for the final part of Fish, Pharmaceuticals, and Phil. The photo I chose for today was taken in some town. In the foreground is a young man riding a bicycle. In the center of the image is a propaganda poster with a map of Vietnam on it. It is written in Vietnamese, but I may assume it is explaining the conflict and what people are doing. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.